You wanna make pizza? Welcome to my kitchen, bitches. Let's get started. So the first ingredient you're gonna need out of 4 is flour. And you're gonna start pouring about 1,000 grams of flour. I do not have enough flour in here. So instead, what I'm going to do is go straight from the source. Now you're going to need around 1,000 grams of flour. And by that, I mean you're just gonna pour this thing out into here, just like so. The next thing you'll need after flour is water. You're going to need about 700 grams of water. Now what we need this water to be actually is around 90 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So what I usually do is I just stick this water and nuke it in the microwave. Because I have no time for this bullshit. The next thing you're going to need is salt. Now you don't need salt immediately in this part of the recipe, but you are going to need it later. You're going to need about 20 grams of kosher salt. Now the most important thing you need is yeast. You cannot forget about the yeast, because without the yeast, how will the dough rise? I ran out of yeast. Got the yeast. So once you finally got your yeast, you're gonna want at least 1/4 of a teaspoon. So before you put in your salt and yeast, what you're actually gonna wanna do is start kneading the flour and water. So when you start, you're gonna want to actually get in there with your hands and start moving the water and flour around. If you're afraid of your hands getting all messy like this, you can always put water, but I don't, because I'm not a wimp. Let your flour and water mixture sit for about half an hour. You can finally start putting in the salt and the yeast. Alright, so once you're done incorporating the yeast and salt into the flour, what you're going to actually want to do is move it to a separate container to let it rest. Now you can let it rest from anywhere between 30 minutes or an hour, but you know what, if you do that, you're impatient and it's not going to taste as great. So I recommend you do it for at least 7 hours up to 24. The longer you wait, the better it's gonna taste. So after 7 or 12 hours have elapsed, you're finally gonna want to start really shaping your dough into balls. So before we begin, we're going to want to actually get some flour and sprinkle it all over our workstation. Now we're gonna want to divide this into equal pieces. $343, that's accurate. You can't tell me otherwise. Once you have your final dough ball ready, you're going to want to find a nice place to wrap them up and put them away for until they're around 30 minutes, all the way to 6 hours. The longer you wait, the better it tastes.